There are so many things wrong with this administration of Ahmed Tinubu. Look at the two solutions that he's using to fight insecurity in this country. When there was kidnapping in Oyo State, or whatever, within how many days the children were brought back. Look at Maiduguri, Borno, more than 100 days, those kids are still in the camps of the bandits. Why can't they apply the same solution applied in the southwest in that part of the country? What is wrong?
Is that not maybe sort of like politicizing security?
It's not politicizing. No, not politicizing. Exactly. It's the same resources he used. Did he use his money? It's Nigerian resources. He mobilized the military to go and fight and make sure he mobilized the entire government of the entire architecture of government to Oyo State to go and fight. This government does not treat Nigerians as Nigerians. Look at what they have done with the economy. You put the whole economy of Nigeria in the southwest. Every person that is in the finance sector of this economy is from the south and speaks Yoruba. So how do we get the kind of?
I'd rather talk about performance.
It is true.
I'd rather talk about performance.
That has put us all in this.
Now, just take your time, listen very well, because any decision that is being made in this country concerns you and I. I will come back later after the interview. Take your time and listen to it, and know where you belong and what is going on. Thank you.
I'm not
against the removal of fuel subsidy, but the question I'm asking is, where is the money? Where has the money gone to? The money from the fuel subsidy removal should have been used to address the rate of poverty and the challenges of out-of-school children, but all the money has been stolen. I will bring back fuel subsidy, and whoever stole from the first subsidy removal would be asked to return the money. The big thing they always talk about is the removal of the first subsidy, but where is the money from the removal of the first subsidy? We don't know where the money is. The money should have been used for developmental activities, improve security or education, or to address unemployment among the youths.
And we also have the other version by President Tinubu. Let's take a listen to him.
I saw one of my opponents now say we go back to subsidy. I read it. That is demonstration of a serious ignorance on governance and economy. Before I came here, 27 states are unable to pay salaries. Not to even talk of pensioners, salary of workers. In your state, I know a man that raised, whose nickname half salary. They come to the federal, cap in hand, unable to do anything. The salary you pay feeds families. Where are the local governments?
Well, President Bola Tinubu there. For more on this, we have joining us right here and the national chairman of the Action Democratic Party, who is also a petroleum engineer, Engineer Yabaji Sani. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, so good to have you. And also with us here is the national chairman of the Transformation, the Progressives Forum, and he's also a member of the All Progressives Congress, Andrew Abu. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, so we have heard from this directly from the two key persons here. We've had several shots being fired at each other by both campaign teams, and coincidentally today President Tinubu unveiled his campaign, announcing Senator Abdulaziz Yari as his campaign DG. We haven't heard from that of Atiku, but Atiku's team has been taking Tinubu up to tax too, based on his comments. I would want to start from you, Yabaji Sani. You are a petroleum engineer. You will speak as a professional, and then, of course, before you speak as a politician. Does this proposal make some sort of sense to you that petrol subsidy could be recalled back if indeed there was a consensus ahead of 2023 by both gentlemen that, in fact, all presidential candidates, including maybe yourself, because you're a presidential candidate then, that we should remove petrol subsidy?
Yeah, well, energy is an important factor as far as the progress of an economy is concerned. The efficiency by which energy is supplied to the economy is a key factor. It determines how citizens are affected one way or the other. So, and of course, when you look at the whole setup, that's our economic setup as a country, you cannot but agree that petroleum sector occupies a very, very dominant space, such that the backward and forward linkages of other sectors of the economy is determined. I mean, the success of other sectors of the economy is to an extent determined by what happens in the oil and gas sector. So I think the question is not, we shouldn't reduce the running of the Nigerian economy to subsidy. It's not who shout loudest that shout, subsidies there, subsidies are there. What is the energy policy that your government is going to put on the table when you come to power? That is what is lacking with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that was what Atiku has not told us yet. So
it's beyond the payment of petrol subsidies.
It's beyond that. Yes,
energy policy.
Yeah, the whole ecosystem of how you run your energy sector, is what determines the success of whether or not the subsidy can be sustained or not. What am I talking about? Look at the refineries, for instance. There's no way you can talk about domestically refined petroleum products availability in the country without addressing the issue of domestic refineries that you have in the country. Look at what government has done with that. What has Bola Ahmed Tinubu done in resuscitating the refineries, other than bringing again another bogus proposal of turnaround maintenance or bringing another name to it? What has happened to those who are even EFCC? I understand they went into probe for the sector, the refineries, and there are some billions of millions of dollars and then naira billions of dollars that they have discovered, which have been recovered. So who has been brought to book? What has happened? So you see, the issue goes beyond subsidy. Look at the way the main sector of the economy, even in the industry, that is the oil and gas sector. When you look at the upstream, why must you address the upstream, the management of the upstream? It's because that is where you get what sustains or determines the value of your naira, because that's where the foreign exchange comes from. Even your budget is based on the price of crude oil, isn't it? So what happens in that sector of the economy, the upstream, is very important. Must be something that you integrate into your energy policy. Today, our upstream sector, and I challenge the government to tell us, they don't know how much we are producing in terms of crude oil. They don't know how much we are exporting.
Well, they said 1.5 at some point.
That is a guesswork.
Which was stabilized, and then 1.7.
It's a guesswork.
Because the recent statement by the petroleum ministries that we've been able to make.
It's an estimate. It's an estimate. It's an estimate. You go to Norway, you go to Saudi Arabia, you go to even America. They don't run their oil sector on a manual basis, on estimate. Today, we don't have working meters in this sector of the economy. So if you want to really talk about subsidy, take it from the foundation, that is from the root cause of the problem. Why are your refineries not working? Why don't you have meters that will tell you how much crude oil you are producing? Because this determines the health, the survival of your economy. If you can't control the crude oil theft, in the sector, and you have to go borrowing, billions of dollars, and then Nigerians will have to be, after you are gone, perhaps have to put up with how to pay this money. So it goes beyond the issue of subsidy. And again, the question you ask is that, why is it now that Atiku is coming up to say he's going to withdraw subsidy, or he's going to bring back subsidy? It will look political, to anybody, because of 2027 elections, or because of what?
All right.
And then what has Bola Ahmed Tinubu government delivered? With all the pains, with all the sufferings, with all the whatever, unquantified, suffering that Nigerians are facing by removing this subsidy. Right. What has he done? Where is the money? Like Atiku was asking.
Yeah, that's actually the major.
So the issue
question for debate.
The issue is not the two of them really, because two of them are not fair to Nigerians.
Okay.
Both Atiku and the Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they are not fair to Nigerians. Okay. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has thrown Nigerians into such a horrendous experience of hardship that have never been experienced in this country before. I don't know which country goes like this.
Well, let's actually hear from Abu here. Where is the money? That's what everybody is saying. Atiku is saying this, but just this during the week we had the Minister of Finance coming to talk to us about how 15 trillion naira in savings was made, and he mentioned some other issues. What exactly does the APC need to do to convince more Nigerians? Because it looks like Atiku has seen a loophole, and this has generated lots of debate among Nigerians.
Yeah, thank you for having me. The conversation around subsidy is always a very difficult one, because from time immemorial, subsidy has been that serious economic problem that we've had in this country that has bedeviled us for a very long time, and it was always going to be a problem. Unfortunately, in 2023, all the candidates said they were going to take out subsidy because it was clear to every Nigerian that subsidy was not sustainable anymore. And the current president won his election, and on the day of his inauguration, subsidy was taken out, even though the budget that he met by President Muhammadu Buhari had already removed, subsidy wasn't budgeted for. So that hardship hit us very hard. The president has never hidden the fact that it was going to be difficult for Nigerians. by completely removing subsidy. And we have seen that. Now, the question you asked is, where is the money? Of course, we all know that the monies, states have more allocation, okay? We have NEL fund, we have student loans, all those things have been put, it's able to happen because there are a lot of savings from subsidy removal.
Yeah, now, but sorry, also project there. Some people have said that these are loans. I mean, these are not gifts. People would eventually have to pay for them ultimately.
Sometimes you'll be shocked.
So what are the benefits directly?
You'll be shocked at how people that are taking these loans are benefiting from it. But you see, let's not even reduce this conversation to just the NEL fund loan. Now, you see, the president, subsidy was taken. Alternative was brought into the fore. Unfortunately, we have a very slow pace of people accepting a new thing. Now we have CNG. There's an initiative in the presidency that is all around compressed natural gas, which is an alternative. Of course, we still have teething problems of infrastructure and people even accepting that alternative that is way, way cheaper than fossil fuel that everybody is used to in this country. Okay, so we acknowledge the fact that it is always going to be a problem for Nigerians, for subsidy removal, and the president has never hidden it. Now, the question of where are the monies, the states have gotten more allocations. The question we should be asking is, what are the states doing? I remember recently the president even went as far as even complaining that state governors should stop building flyovers.
He actually asked them to wet the ground. They should wet the ground.
So I think part of what we also need to do is to hold state governors and the state governments accountable. Okay, I think if we focus more on that tier of government in this country, I think we will make progress. I think the concentration on the center is heavy. Of course, I know that it trickles down, of course, but I mean we still need to question what are these monies that have increased.
So do you think Atiku's proposal to actually return petrol subsidy is something that the APC can contend with? Because a lot of Nigerians are beginning to
buy into it.
Yeah, critical thought. I mean, everybody enjoys subsidies, right? Now they are saying that removal of subsidy is only benefiting just a few.
Now, you see, as lovely as that proposal sounds, the fact is, how is he going to achieve it? And I'm happy that engineer has also said it, that he has not told us how he's going to achieve that. There are problems, and we must acknowledge that there are problems. The fact remains that we got to a point in this country where subsidies couldn't be sustained anymore. We couldn't pay subsidies anymore.
Right.
And that led to somebody taking a bold step to say, look, this has to go. And we must find a way to come up with alternative and make life better. Of course, it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to take a bit of time for us to, get our acts together and be on that cruise level that every Nigerian wants us to be.
And back to you, Engineer Abagi. Let's talk about President Tinubu's reaction to that bomb by Atiku. Some people are saying it's a political bomb that Atiku has thrown within the polity. And now he says that Atiku is demonstrating ignorance. But Atiku replied and said, no, this is a well-calculated issue. I'm going to subsidize the refineries who will then produce subsidized petroleum for Nigerians. How workable is this kind of proposal? And when President Tinubu says Atiku demonstrates ignorance, for someone who chaired the National Economic Council, the privatization program of this country, how much...
No, I think Mr. President...
words can you use to describe such a person?
Mr. President has been economical with the truth, really. I mean, he knows that the nationals, I mean, talking about citizens now, are in the worst, scenario as far as living conditions is concerned in this country today. And as a president, there's nothing wrong in you stepping back and then say, okay, let me take a second look at what I've put on the table, which is not achieving as quickly as I want, the positive impact on the lives of the citizens. That's what Atiku is talking about. There's nothing wrong in saying that, okay, it's not that we're taking out subsidy completely, but we're going to tinker the 100% removal of subsidy by introducing certain dampers targeted towards, like I understand Atiku says, is going to give subsidy to domestic refineries.
Subsidize crude to domestic refineries
and things. But there's a problem with that too, because crude is not something that the price is determined, locally. So
international
commodity. But the issue is, why should Nigerians suffer, as much as they are suffering, when you have a government, a democratically elected government, that is supposed to be of deliverables, deliverables to ensure that they enjoy, good living and then security and things like that. So, but that is absent. That's the question. That's why people are not happy with the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's not, and it's so obvious. And I think the administration is running helter-skelter, trying to see how they can control, is what do you call it, damage control, of the situation. But the reality is, are Nigerians able to eat? The market, when they go to market, what do they see? Do they see the benefits of removal of subsidy in the prices of goods, the food price, price of food items and things like that? Do they get better education at an affordable price for their children? Transportation cost, how is it? Is it going down? So an average person will tell you that if you can't really address these basic issues, the basic needs, all this macroeconomic progress, yes, you are making macroeconomic, progress by piling up reserves, by saying that you are sending money to what you call them, to states, governments, in trillions. But the fact is that Mr. President cannot, cannot play the victim.
I'm actually trying to find out, is that a sustainable means, actually, that proposal by Atiku, that we should send crude at subsidized rate to refineries, local refiners, and then they will now refine it and send it back at a cheaper rate? Do you think it's something that is doable?
Of course. It's a pragmatic way. It's a pragmatic way. You are not talking about sending money to a refinery outside Nigeria, isn't it? So whatever subsidy you are giving, it will also have a ripple effect in terms of employment, because the money will circulate around, within the economy of domestic economy of the country. So it's a very, very pragmatic and practical way of addressing the issue I have. And thank God we have Dangote refinery. I also hear that Boa is coming on stream. Maybe and there's so many other refineries. So what is wrong with you encouraging your own domestic, manufacturers?
All right, I will ask you to hold on.
Or producers.
Does Atiku actually not have a right to have a change of mind if in 2023 he told Nigerians that he will be part of those who would remove petrol subsidy? Because President Tinubu too in 2012 had written to Nigerians where he accused Jonathan administration of lacking the proper understanding of economics, and so that we should not remove petrol subsidy then. And there was that Occupy Nigeria protest here and there. But Tinubu changed his mind in 2023 and removed petrol subsidy.
So
if he did, why can't Atiku also do the same?
No, of course he's well within his right to have a change of mind. But the question we will ask is what changed? Okay. So for some of us, we can say, okay, the former vice president has been in government before. Unfortunately, 2007 and 2023, 2026 or 2027 is a different ballgame entirely. Things have really changed.
That's 20 years.
Things have really changed. And you see, a lot of times people make promises before they get into office. But you see, the reality hits you when you sit on that seat and you see that it is not how you think it was when you were outside. And we saw it happen. We've seen it happen to past governments. It happened even more with President Muhammadu Buhari. There were things he said that he had to go back on because the reality on ground will not help. There was just a reality on ground that he couldn't just go past. So I think one of the major problems is the fact that, yes, subsidy was removed. Nigerians are going through tough times. And we all can attest to that fact. And I also know that the president have always acknowledged the fact that it was going to be tough on all of us. And we have seen it.
Yeah, but we will some votes ahead of 2027 with this set of proposals. Because even some people who had not given thought to Atiku are beginning to say, look, let's take a step backward and see if indeed we could actually do something better. Why does it look like the only narrative that the APC is selling to Nigerians is that if there's no removal of petrol subsidy, Nigeria wouldn't have survived?
And to a very large extent, I think economists have also added voices to that. Now you see, there will be a lot of sound bites going into these elections. And for us, how practicable are these things people are saying? Okay, it's a beautiful proposal. I must agree to it. It's a beautiful proposal, but how practicable is it? So for now, what we have on ground and what we are dealing with is the fact that there's subsidy removal, and we have seen how it has affected us and how our macroeconomy has grown. The micro is suffering to a large extent. It's not moving at the pace we would have expected it to move concurrently with the...
Yeah, but that's because most Nigerians say the APC campaigns in poetry but governs in prose. You have the most beautiful campaigners.
And you see, I can also...
And they say the APC is more of propaganda.
And I can also
how
say
are you going to tackle those kind of notions going into the 2027 campaigns?
I can also say that about what the ADC candidate is also saying. But you see, it is always very difficult when you sit on that driver's seat. You know, people can tell you how you would have gone left or you'd have gone right. You know, it's easy for people to make commentaries, just like when you watch a football game and how people make commentaries about what the footballers.
When you're outside the pitch, right?
You know, so at the end of the day, it is when you get there that you know if these things you are saying is practicable or are practicable.
Well, Atiku says he's been there before, and they had 4 ways, 4 plans, and they had executed 2. Only 2 was left. But that Tinubu just came without even understanding what was on the table and just took that decision. And I'm saying, wouldn't this cost the APC votes going into 2027 elections?
So I think there's no doubt we have a lot of work to do as APC. I'm not going to sit down here and say it's a walk in the park for us. Okay, I mean, I'm sitting here on a Saturday having this conversation because something was put out there. And Nigerians are reacting to it. And it's beginning to tinker with the mindset of Nigerians. And we have to, you know, match it word for word to see what we need to do to ensure that this proposal is not something that will come into fruition just by pronouncement. Okay? It is still going to have a gestation period, even if for any reason it will happen. Okay?
Very strong point. And now I'll come back to you. Are we beginning to have issues-based campaign now? Because in the past we've seen people attacking Tinubu's credentials or where Tinubu's from and other things. But people are saying that maybe this could actually steer us away from those personality attacks. I mean, people also saying that Atiku is from Cameroon or Nigeria and all of that.
I can see a repeat of what happened to Goodluck Jonathan. You know, build up to Goodluck Jonathan elections, you know, that
2015 general election.
General elections, yes, that which Muhammadu Buhari won. Issues were that insecurity, isn't it? So people saw in Muhammadu Buhari somebody that really, you know, has a track record, a personified solution to that, you know, problem. So nobody cared about whether Buhari was, you know, somebody, the northerner or Muslim or whatever they were, tags they gave, you know, the labels they gave in autocrats. But the fact that this person is coming to solve number 1 problem which Nigerians had. Today, number 1 problem Nigerians had is economy.
But the government says it has done very well in the economy.
No, where is it?
Wouldn't you?
Let's see it. Let's see
I mean,
it.
the finance minister gave a scorecard of the government on this reform, saying that we've saved 50 trillion naira out of.
We're not talking about PowerPoint presentations. We're talking about what affects Nigerians. You know, I can chunk out, you know, some PowerPoint presentation for you now that will show you billions of dollars that we have made. Where are they? What matters is how it affects Nigerians in average.
But was Tinubu wrong to actually push the money to the states? Because I mean, we've been calling for restructuring.
That's why.
Maybe that's his own idea of economic restructuring.
I said
empower the states so that they grow up to become like the federal government.
Tinubu is playing the victim, and we cannot buy that. Nigerians
what do you mean that he's playing?
Nigerians are the victim. He's saying that he cannot control his governors, that you are sending trillions of naira to. You know, you should have to control them. When it comes to getting them to elect you, you can force people from another party to come to your party, whether they are governors, even the governors. But to force them to deliver to the people, you said you are crying, you know, that this is why I'm appealing to you. Don't come and play victim to us.
I mean, but
he has control.
Can't tell, you know, state governors how to use their FAC allocations, right?
Why are they able to move people from other parties to their party? Governors.
I mean,
so we don't buy that victim that Mr. President wants to portray to Nigerians. He's not. He is in charge. He is the one that should deal with the problems. He's the one that should tell the state governors to make sure that the money trickles down to an average person in their state.
All right.
I don't think. Just quickly. I don't think the constitutional responsibility of the president is to tell governors what to do in their respective states. For us, the citizens of each state should hold their governors responsible.
No, I don't buy that. You
Okay.
know why?
Well,
you know why?
these
are people. The majority of the governors we have today are in that party by coercion or by voluntary something. You know, so there's nothing he use to bring them to his party. So who says he cannot tell them that go and do this? He will do it.
And I'm thinking,
he has the political power. He has the constitutional.
If governors come into the APC, I mean, shouldn't that APC manifesto be, you know, made available to them to say, look, this is what the complaints are publicly. This is the APC's agenda to resolving the issues, and drive the governors towards ensuring that manifesto of the APC is fulfilled? Because it looks like APC, you know, has a lot of work to do ahead of the campaigns.
A whole lot of work.
Yeah.
So now you see, the truth is, governors in Nigeria are very powerful. We cannot run away from that fact. Okay, we talk about
himself.
We talk about and of course, you know how much while he was a governor, you know how much he was able to even fight back. You know, the President Obasanjo then. You know, even when he held the allocation of Lagos State for 3 years plus. You know, but the fact also is that governors they are all in sync. You know, and that is why it has been very difficult to have local government autonomy. okay, is so bad that even the state assembly has refused to even assent to it. Even the local government chairmen have been told to come and register so you can get your allocation straight from the federation. They have even refused. So it is a difficult situation.
No, it's
and I know that
it's conspiracy.
The one thing that can solve that problem is the citizens.
All right. I mean, just quickly as we try to wrap up, he has said that Tinubu is trying to play the victim mentality here now. They're playing the victim card. That look, there's nothing he can do other than just to advise the governors. I mean, do you buy?
Well, as they're in conspiracy,
I don't know the aspect.
No, it's conspiracy. It's conspiracy by APC.
He has given the money to the governors. And the governors have not performed.
Let's give it to some of the governors, because it would be wrong to make a blanket statement on governors. I mean, there are governors that have performed very well. I can start naming them, but I won't do that, also for the sake of time. Some governors have done very well. Some governors have done below expectations. Okay, and I think also going into, because I mean, it's not just in this election, it's not just presidential election. The focus shouldn't. I think citizens should also reevaluate the performance of their respective governors.
All right, I mean, very interesting proposal. Gentlemen, just before I let you go very quickly, the campaign season opened during the week. As we head into this campaign season, what exactly would you be advising both Nigerians and then other presidential contenders? I know you are not.
But my party is, and Nigerians, it's high time Nigerians looked, the other way, outside, from far away from Atiku or Tinubu.
So what they don't have this option as an alternative?
Energy policy that will take this country out of where we are, the quagmire we are in today.
And what's the central, thrust of that energy policy?
The central, crux of it is that we will chase corruption out of that sector of the economy.
So the problem is not the subsidy.
It's not. It's the corruption in the sector, which Bola Ahmed Tinubu has refused, to tackle. I don't know for what reasons. So the issue is that, you see, there are so many things wrong with this administration of Ahmed Tinubu. Look at the two solutions that he's using to fight insecurity in this country. When there was kidnapping in Oyo State, or whatever, within how many days the children were brought back. Look at Meduguri, Borno, more than 100 days, those kids are still in the camps of the bandits. Why can't they apply the same solution applied in the southwest in that part of the country? What is wrong?
Is that not maybe sort of like politicizing security?
It's not politicizing. No, not politicizing. Exactly. It's the same resources he used. Did he use his money? It's the Nigerian resources. He mobilized the military to go and fight and make sure he mobilized the entire government of the entire architecture of the government to Oyo State to go and fight and bring those kids out. So why can't he mobilize the same?
How about the governors? Because we also saw your state governor putting in all sort of strength, and though he's an opposition governor.
What else do you want Zulu to do? What has Zulu not done? What has he not done?
So right, and that's the vice president's state too. I mean, that's
something wrong with APC as far as Nigerian.
In addition to that, what we expect from us as a campaign is open.
Security-wise, economy-wise, and everything.
Without politicizing this,
there's no politics here.
Bedeviling us in this.
There's no politics here.
I think one thing we need to also take note of is the fact that terrains are different, and we all know how difficult the northeast terrain is. Okay, it's not as
some part of Nigeria.
It's not as difficult as, I mean, it's more difficult to deal with insecurity issues in the northeast than in the southwest. But I don't want to go into that details. Now on campaigns, issue-based campaigns, and everybody should tell their supporters to be peaceful and understand that regardless of whatever happens, we're all Nigerians.
All right. We are not treated as Nigerians.
And it is our
this government does not treat Nigerians as Nigerians. Look at what they have done with the economy. You put the whole economy of Nigeria in the southwest. Every person that is in the finance sector of this economy is from the south and speaks Yoruba. So how do we get the claim?
I'd rather talk about performance.
It is true. What performance?
I'd rather talk about performance.
That has put us all in this horrendous situations. Nigerians cannot sleep with their eyes closed anymore.
I think ethnicity.
This is a wrong administration. Wrong way to go.
Has really dealt us a big blow.
But Ahmed Tinubu has raised a strong
issue. I mean, the president has been accused over and over of actually appointing people from his own part of the country mostly. But well, I mean, isn't that what happened with Buhari too?
No.
Yabagi Sani is the national chairman of the Action Democratic Party, ADP. We must thank you so much for joining us. He's also a petroleum engineer. And then Andrew Abu is the national chairman of the Progressive Forum, and he's also a member of the All Progressives Congress. Thank you so much. And we just hope that the APC will be prepared, because I mean, this looks like a very huge debate that lies ahead of us. And for Nigerians, of course, the choice remains theirs as the campaign.
Well, like I said, this is hot. This is hot. Omo, this will get mind though. This party, this APC people, they get mind. Wallahi to lie. Now, the debaters between the Atiku camp not Atiku, is it ADP, Action Democratic Party, Mr. Sani, and one Abu Andrew. Can you imagine? You came up to tell us that about 27, I wasn't our president when he was analyzing the condition of the country when he took over, that about 27 governors could not pay their salaries. About 27 governors could not pay their workers' salaries. These are governors, which most of them are APC members. These are people that have been campaigning, supporting Buhari, APC government that have been in this power for the last 8 years before you. All of you were praising APC. APC did well with all the stories of recovered, looted funds that and all the economic policies of Buhari and all the money he borrowed. People who were praising him that he did very well. And you are going to be like, we are going to be another Buhari. We are going to continue from where he stopped. The same you that made all these statements, you are the one that came here to tell us that the country was in shambles when you took over, that most of the governors could not pay their salaries. That is to show that APC government are not supposed to come back again to rule this country after they failed in the last 8 years, because all of you are complicit to that last administration. All of you are complicit to that last administration. So you all know that APC completely failed Nigeria. APC completely failed Nigeria. You were praising Buhari government, saying no matter of things, but now you are coming to tell us that Buhari could not pay, that all the governors, he failed to point that governors are owing, they could not pay, they could not sustain their states. That was a massive failure, massive failure of APC. They are not supposed to. It is when you do well that you can be elected again. But blindly, people supported you and you became the president of the country. Now, apart from that one, you now started with your own economic reform or whatever you call it. And to the point that you came to tell us that refineries are now working, all the refineries are now working. Evidence and the investigations show that those are all lies. Those so-called refineries in Nigeria are not delivering anything. That was lie. Nigerians, I hope you are observing the whole thing. Because if all these refineries are serving the interests of the country, there is no way the price of fuel and all this thing will be as high as it is today. That is a massive lies. They claim they recover this and that. They recover a lot of money from subsidy. Where are the money? What do they use it to do? The only thing this one was telling us that they use it to pay salaries and to bring about a student loan. Student loan? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Student loan, something that students will still need to pay back, and you say you don't have money. So you don't need to pay back this loan, or for that matter. Let's be sincere to ourselves. APC really failed us, and they are planning again to go for the second term. And you and I know that this second tenor now is a tenor, is like a last fight where they do anything they want because they know they cannot be elected again. So it's the time to do whatever thing they want to do and go their way. The ADP man, Mr. Sani, also threw a big point to APC where he told him that APC government up to now cannot account to the amount of barrel Nigeria produce, amount of oil we produce. We don't have the meter that can tell us how much oil, just like other countries. If you ask Saudi Arabia, they can tell the amount of oil they produce. Is on account for. And I remember P2B last time accusing them that a lot of missing account of barrels. There are a lot of private and shadow fleets that have been going out selling oil. Different companies that are not recorded selling crude oil. Crude oil theft, it has been the same. And these are is a kind of something that ordinary man cannot do. It is the kind of thing that only people that are in authority can be able to do. Nigerians, what is going on? Now, we all know we have been complaining that Buhari's government borrowed so much money and put Nigeria in a big debt. But we all know that this administration borrowed much more than what was borrowed by Buhari. They are still borrowing, despite the subsidy, or whatever, and all the revenue they generate from our oil. They are still borrowing. So that shows that it's also a massive failure. I just want to point out this so that Nigeria we can make our choices. The choice is ours to make. Why is the money they recover from subsidy? We cannot account for it. We cannot account for it. So Nigerians, if you listen to that interview, I don't want to talk about what he said about appointing all the people from South to Southwest alone in financial positions in Nigeria. Nigerians, they can attest for it. Insecurity wise, we all know what is going on in Nigeria. It seems like it's even worse now. The level of insecurity we have in Nigeria, it seems like the thing has tripled now than it has ever been. So Nigerians, I thank you very much. Take your time. If you not get this interview, please go back and watch it again. You will learn a lot from it. Thank you.